going on, guys? I appreciate it. Like, when I uploaded my last video, I had like 85 subscribers, something like that. And now I've got like over 450. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm so grateful to you guys for that, and honored that you care about my opinion. All right, so there's this whole campaign in Placer County against fentanyl. There's story after story of teenagers dying in Placer County from fentanyl overdoses. In Placer County, they've got a fentanyl problem. That's highlighted by this news article here that says they busted somebody with 50,000 fentanyl pills the other day. Now, maybe that's not completely unrelated. We haven't heard very much at all from the police on this case. We haven't heard very much at all about details. We have heard that the parents did not want the toxicology report to be public, right? Think about that for a minute. Now, it's understandable as a parent and a minor, and I don't want it to go out, but there may be an reason that they don't want that to go out because they want to control that narrative. People act like fentanyl is just people going and wanting to take fentanyl, and that's not what's happening. What's happening is fentanyl is being mixed as a cut agent with other drugs. It's being used to like make fake like Xanaxes and pain pills, Roxys, and shit like that, even Lortabs. They're putting fentanyl in these fake pills to make it have an effect. But these people are not pharmacists. They don't know how much fentanyl they have in their little cut powder that they got, and they're putting it in something else, and they're killing people. It's an epidemic, and it's really bad in Placer County because we've got all these other news articles and all these stories about this fentanyl epidemic going on. Then we have one of Sammy's ex-boyfriends or something like that. Maybe this is one of those rumors, but one of her ex-boyfriends got arrested because somebody OD'd getting fentanyl from him. So maybe that same thing happened because he wasn't arrested when Kiely was dead, but that other girl had already died of an overdose. Maybe the same thing happened with Kiely, and he knew the heat he was getting coming from that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm open to a lot of things, but my theory on what happened with Kiely Rodni goes like this. She's 16 years old. She goes to a party with a friend of hers to meet other friends of hers, right? She's a smart girl, doing well in school, and she's about to graduate early, getting ready to go to college. Think about college. Now, I know this girl's only 16, but she was about to turn 17. She was about to head off to college. Kids these days grow up a lot faster than you think. So, these kids have this big party. She didn't really feel like going. They convinced her to go. How did they convince her to go? Did they tell her, oh, they're going to have this, they're going to have that? Now, this group, this friend group, I'm not trying to judge anybody by saying this because I used to be a part of one of these groups. But this friends group looks like they party. It looks like they take a lot of pain pills and Xanaxes. Just the group fits the description of every group. It fits the description of my old group. The way they are, the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, the way they just can't wait to open their mouth and say something that's going to come back to bite them in the ass, all scream like Roxys to me. Or Xanaxes. The ones who are just seem lost for words all the time and don't know what they're doing. They space out. Xanax is a hell of a drug. I don't know if y'all really know this or not, but people are blacking out on Xanaxes for months at a time, just going on like sprees, and they don't know what's going on. It's ridiculous. Now, these kids are partying and drinking and drugging, right? Drugs have been like a key aspect to this case the whole time. Drugs have just been like mentioned over and over and over. And drinking drugs. She was so messed up. If this county has a huge fentanyl problem, right? And these kids look like the type. I'm sorry, but they look like the type. I could point out one of my old friends for every one of them. It's like you only look like that in those scenarios when you don't care. You only don't care when you're on drugs. You're just chasing that high. You're just getting it. These kids are getting seriously addicted these days. Like very young. 15, 16, 17. It's ridiculous, right? I'm not trying to say that that's what happened, but my theory goes that Kiely Rodni shows up at this party. She's getting messed up. She's hanging out. She's talking to friends. They're bouncing between groups. She ends up going to get something and take something from somebody. Maybe the Sammy's boyfriend that got arrested because the other person died of fentanyl before that. Maybe him, since he wasn't arrested yet. Gets a pill that's laced with fentanyl, takes it, and ends up getting really sick and really upset. And then she's mad, saying, oh, he gave me fentanyl, those were fake, blah, blah, blah. And her and Sammy get into a fight over it. And then Kiely overdoses off the fentanyl that she had just took with all the other whatever she had in her system and alcohol. And then Sammy and her boyfriend panic, don't know what to do. So then they just put Kiely in the car and they drive to Boca to go dump the body, right? They probably get there and there's other people down the road, like the tow truck driver said. So they stop and they're trying to wait and hope those people would leave. And then they end up leaving the car in neutral instead of putting it in park when they turned it off. And then couldn't figure out why the car wouldn't start, even though it should start in neutral. So somewhat confused about that. The tow truck driver comes out, checks out the car. They're just trying to keep him distracted by talking to him, and they can't think of what else to ask him other than like, oh, how do I buckle my seatbelt up right? Well, is this the right way to do this, or is this the right way to do that? Just dumb, random questions that you should know. But they were going to play the card like, oh, I don't know, just so I can keep you talking to me right here and not over here seeing what's over here. When they tow truck driver leaves and the car's working again, they're like, oh no, we can't dump it right here, because if they come find it right here, this guy saw us. He can identify us and say that, oh yeah, I came out there to Boca Lake in that car and helped these people. So they go and they take the car back around and go hide it. So when they hide the car, the police are looking all out where the party was, looking for Kiely at this point, and they start searching the water. They don't find her. They move on. They're searching different places. They're putting a lot of resources and asking for help with this case. So they're working on different places. While they're doing different places, these kids who party in that area, who know like all the nooks and crannies of those woods and out back roads and stuff, because that's where they're hanging out at, they go get the car, take it back out there, and run it off in the water and get out real quick. They had to make sure they secured her body in the back with the seatbelt so that she wouldn't float out of the car, so maybe nobody would see the car. I think they were trying to do it at Boca at first, because Boca is like 150 foot deep in some places, according to the AWP guys. So maybe that's why they were going to Boca, but then after the tow truck driver thing, they couldn't do it, so they had to go back. Once they throw the body off in the water, they come back and they start doing interviews and stuff with the news, and they're trying to find her. They're pretty sure that she won't be found because they've already searched that area, and then they took the car and put it in after the fact. Maybe they thought they were going to get away with it. They just had to get through because that part had already been searched. And they're going along and they're going through, and then AWP comes along and finds the body. So then it threw everything in the haywire. That's why you have people on like opposite sides trying to be mad at AWP, like, because hey, they inconvenienced the hell out of them because they were going to get through this squeaky clean. That's kind of my theory on what I think happened. She went to the party, she overdosed, it was Sammy's boyfriend or whoever or some other guy. Give it, like, it doesn't have to be Sammy's boyfriend, but some guy at the party that's selling fentanyl. Her and Sammy get into it because she, took fentanyl and she's scared and she's tripping, and Sammy don't want to call the cops or nothing. Then she ends up dying. When she dies, Sammy freaks out because other people know that she didn't want to call the cops and she didn't want to do this, and they know where she got it from, but nobody wants to be a snitch, so they're all trying to keep it secret and whatnot, So maybe that's what happened. It sounds pretty logical when you think of all these news clips going around. I mean, seriously, guys. They've got this picture here. Warning, selling fentanyl in Placer County may result in a murder. A murder. These kids are already thinking oh, she overdosed on fentanyl, they're going to be real harsh about this. They're going to really want to know where it came from, and we're going to get in trouble. There's one reason I believe that they would hide a fentanyl overdose at a party. Then they've got this picture, and he died of fentanyl poisoning from one counterfeit pain pill. Watson 375 Lortab is what it showed on the news. Then they've got this sign: a deadly epidemic is reaching teens and young adults in Placer County. It's called fentanyl poisoning. One pill can kill. Be safe. Avoid the risk. For more information or to get help, visit onepillcankillplacer.com. This county's really going through it with this, y'all. So the idea that nobody's really thinking this was most likely an overdose is astonishing to me. Instead, we're assigning these kids are evil masterminds on this big murder plot and love triangle situation going on. Most likely died of an overdose. No, maybe what happened and they hid the body and did all this and freaked out. But I'm pretty sure if they did, they're going to get caught because they're kids and they were high and drunk. So they most likely did not have the ability to clean up the scene as well as they could. Who knows? Who knows what the sheriff's department knows that we don't know yet? Who knows? It could be all kinds of testimony from kids at the party that has not been released to the public. Number one, because they're kids. Number two, because it's an active investigation that they're keeping close so that they can try to figure this out. Now, this ties back to this bust that happened. What's up? This is 50,000 pills in Placer County 3 days ago. They found the body a couple weeks ago, and they have not released the toxicology report. They have not released the cause of death. They have not released anything like that right now. It makes sense that it's an active, ongoing investigation. Probably not going to be ruled an accident. I would bet it's ruled an overdose and somebody tried to hide the body. That's my theory. Somebody tried to get rid of the evidence of the fentanyl overdose because they gave them the fentanyl or they were responsible for the fentanyl. Now, who's come out and tried to make out oh, I drank everything she drank, I did everything she did? Sammy. That's Sammy. Let's watch this video. Let's see what this says about the fentanyl bust the other day.
Well, tens of thousands of fentanyl pills are off the streets in Placer County, and it's in part thanks to a canine deputy. The discovery was made during a routine traffic stop Monday. The sheriff's office says Canine Ruger alerted his handler to the driver's side of the car, and that's where they say they found 50,000 fentanyl pills. 4 cell phones and cash were also seized from the vehicle. Both the driver and the passenger were arrested for possession and sale of narcotics.
That's a big one, right? That's a big bust. 50,000 pills. They say enough to kill millions of people. Is that a coincidence? That while all these people are coming forward talking about what happened to Kiely, that they just happen upon a traffic stop and find 50,000 fentanyl pills? I don't know. Do you believe in coincidences? Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. Let's see what they were talking about a few months ago.
Placer County held a fentanyl awareness event at Whitney High School in Rockland today. They unveiled the One Pill Can Kill campaign, and ABC 10's Jay Kim was there.
It's like a minefield out there now for kids.
One pill can kill. It's a consistent message Chris and Laura Didier are committed to spreading, bringing education and awareness to parents, teenagers, and young adults about the dangers of fentanyl and fake prescription pills laced with lethal amounts of the drug that's widely sold online and through social media platforms.
The kids nowadays aren't doing anything different than generations before have done, but in terms of trying a pill or half a pill and immediately dying, this is new stuff.
See what I mean? And it seems like they've been taking this pretty serious, right? I mean, it seems like they've had a pretty good problem with it. 33 people from one county last year. Already 8, or what did they say? Did they say the 8th in only 4 months? With that person, that was back in April or so. They've had a pretty big problem with this stuff. Of course, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. She could have not had any fentanyl in her system whatsoever. But it makes a lot of sense, does it not? 16-year-old girl goes to a party, gets a drug laced with something, takes it, gets sick, has a bad reaction, dies. Her friend that gave it to her freaks out, thinks she's going to go to jail for murder, is panicking because somebody else they know just died, and they're scared they're going to be the connection between the two that people look at, and they're the reason. So then they're like, oh no, we got to make her just go missing. We can't have her be a fentanyl death. So take off with the body, dump it in the lake that's already been searched, and hope for the best. These are not masterminds. These are kids. These are not, oh, I know I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that because I can incriminate myself. These are kids. They're panicked. They didn't know what to do. So they freaked out and did it. Yes, I'm calling them kids, and yeah, I know they might be 18, 19, 20, 21. They could not be. They could be 17. We don't know which kids did this. The idea that everybody has is Sammy. Sammy's been the face of the stuff, right? And the boyfriend because of the hat and the hair. But a lot of kids have curly hair sticking out the bottom of their cap, which seems like what the tow truck driver described, but I'm not real positive about that. Maybe he just said brown hair sticking out. I thought he said curled under the cap, you know? So it could not be Jagger. It could be somebody else, or Jagger's hair could have been that way at that time. At the first interview with Kate and Jagger, they looked pretty damn rough. Sammy looked pretty rough. Max looked pretty fucking rough. Face all broke out and stuff. They look like they, you know, do it. They look like they party and do drugs and stuff. And yeah, a lot of us have done it in the past. I'm included. I also saw an article about rainbow colored fentanyl, where I guess they're just marketing as fentanyl in that case. But most of the time it's fake pills. And like they said, that's what it was. That's what they found in this bus. That's what they found to the other boy's death. Fake pills. Pills that are supposed to be hydrocodone. They throw a little bit of fentanyl in there, think it's going to be fine. A little bit too much, kill somebody. Right? Xanaxes, same thing. They throw a little bit too much fentanyl in there. Somebody goes and takes a handful of Xanaxes, or even one, because one pill can kill, and they're done. That's it. One choice, one mistake. Doesn't make you a bad person. So that's not, I'm not trying to pass judgment. I've been there myself. I know you can beat it. But that's what it looks like. That's where my mind goes when I look at this. Like, we can't pretend like this party with 300 people, at the beginning they were pushing so hard that, like, oh, it was just supposed to be just us, a senior going away party, and then there ended up being like 300 people there from all over, grown-ups and kids, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, they've been trying to push the narrative that the drugs came from somewhere else. Sammy hired a lawyer, apparently, a criminal defense lawyer, because there's a lot of rumors about her. And she came out and said some things that could be used against her. I mean, literally. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I guess it just depends. But she come out and said some stuff, so yeah, she got a lawyer. That doesn't scream guilty to me, you know, any more than her saying she did these certain things that would make her guilty. But getting the lawyer doesn't mean she killed Kiely or had something to do with that. That's just common sense. And this many rumors going around and conspiracy theories, and maybe you did do some shit bad. Maybe you did kill her. But you can't tell just because she got a lawyer she's guilty. That's insane. I saw this picture the other day right here, and it blows my mind. This right here blows my mind. You can't be serious. Only guilty people hire lawyers? How do you think anybody's ever proven innocent? Do you think they just go to court and say, oh no, I mean, I'm just obviously not guilty? And the judge is like, yeah, you're not guilty. If you were guilty, you would have hired a lawyer. I mean, that type of logic, man. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video real quick. Sorry my eye looks like it does. It's all infected or whatever, and it's halfway closed. I can't figure that out. Happened the last couple days. So, it is what it is, I guess. But thank you guys for watching. Definitely thank you guys for subscribing, liking the videos. Y'all blew it up, and that means a lot to me. I mean, I can't express how much that means to me that y'all care about my opinion on something like this, to comment, to engage like you did. Like, that's the most engagement I've ever had on this channel. And I mean, I never expected that. I make videos because I want to tell people what I think, or I want to talk about something. That's why I make videos. So to get that kind of engagement and like comments, likes, subscribers, it means the world to me. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.